Most people think of nutrition in terms of calories, protein, or vitamins they've heard about repeatedly. But beneath those obvious markers of health lies something far more subtle, yet profoundly influential: zinc. It's a mineral so small in quantity that it's easy to ignore, yet so powerful in function that the body quite literally depends on it to maintain order. Zinc is involved in hundreds of enzymatic reactions. It shapes how your immune system responds to threats, how your brain processes information, how your hormones regulate mood and energy, and how your cells repair themselves after stress or injury. In a sense, zinc is not just a nutrient, it is a stabilizing force that keeps the complex machinery of the body from descending into chaos. When zinc levels drop, the consequences often appear gradually, almost invisibly. You might feel tired without understanding why. Your focus may weaken. Your immunity may falter, leaving you vulnerable to frequent infections. Even your emotional resilience can be affected, because zinc plays a role in neurotransmitter function and brain chemistry. What's remarkable is that these symptoms are often dismissed as normal aspects of modern life: stress, overwork, lack of sleep, when in reality, they may be signals of a deeper nutritional imbalance. This is where the conversation about zinc becomes more than biological, it becomes philosophical. It forces us to confront how disconnected we become from the fundamental requirements of our own bodies. Now consider the elegance of nature's solution. Nuts and seeds, simple, ancient foods that humans have consumed for thousands of years, contain meaningful amounts of zinc, packaged alongside healthy fats, minerals, and antioxidants. Pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, cashews, almonds, and others are not just snacks, they are concentrated expressions of biological wisdom. They represent a bridge between pleasure and nourishment, between taste and function. By choosing them deliberately, you're not merely eating, you're participating in a dialogue with your own physiology, acknowledging that your body requires structure, balance, and care. And perhaps that is the deeper insight: when you consciously nourish your body with what it truly needs, you are not just improving your health, you are reclaiming responsibility for your own well-being, one deliberate choice at a time. If you look closely at nature, you begin to notice a pattern. The most powerful solutions are often hidden in ordinary things. Nuts and seeds are a perfect example of this principle. They're small, humble foods, often treated as casual snacks or decorative toppings, yet they contain an extraordinary concentration of nutrients. Among those nutrients, zinc stands out not as an isolated chemical, but as part of a carefully balanced system that supports the body in ways modern diets often fail to replicate. Consider pumpkin seeds, for instance. They are among the richest plant sources of zinc, but they also carry magnesium, healthy fats, and antioxidants that work together to support the nervous system and immune function. Sesame seeds, consumed across cultures for centuries, offer zinc alongside calcium and powerful phytonutrients, subtly reinforcing skeletal strength and cellular stability. Cashews provide zinc in a form that is both bioavailable and satisfying, while almonds, sunflower seeds, flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, pine nuts, and hemp seeds each contribute their own unique combination of minerals and fats. What emerges is not a random collection of foods, but a network of natural resources that mirror the body's need for balance and diversity. There is something deeply symbolic about this. The body does not thrive on extremes, it thrives on harmony. Just as a healthy mind requires multiple perspectives to understand reality, a healthy body requires multiple sources of nourishment to sustain itself. Nuts and seeds embody this principle. They remind us that strength is rarely built from a single source, it is constructed through integration, variety, and consistency. When you incorporate these foods into your daily life, you are doing more than increasing zinc intake, you are aligning your habits with the fundamental logic of biological and psychological stability. And perhaps that is the real lesson: when you choose foods that reflect balance rather than excess, you are not just feeding your body. You are training your mind to value structure, discipline, and long-term well-being over short-term gratification. In that sense, every handful of nuts and seeds becomes more than a snack, it becomes a quiet declaration of who you are becoming. Knowledge, on its own, is rarely transformative. We live in an age where information is abundant, yet genuine change is surprisingly rare. You can know which foods contain zinc, understand their benefits, even agree with the logic behind them. and still continue eating in ways that undermine your health. The gap between understanding and action is not a nutritional problem, it's a psychological one. It's the difference between knowing what is right and having the courage and discipline to live according to that knowledge. When you begin to integrate zinc-rich nuts and seeds into your daily routine, something subtle but meaningful happens. The act itself is small. Adding pumpkin seeds to a salad, sprinkling sesame seeds over a meal, choosing almonds or cashews instead of processed snacks, but the implication is large. You are no longer reacting blindly to cravings or convenience. You are making conscious decisions that align with the long-term needs of your body. Over time, these decisions accumulate. Energy stabilizes. Immunity strengthens. Focus sharpens. Confidence grows, not because of dramatic overnight changes, but because you've proven to yourself that you can create order out of chaos, one deliberate habit at a time. There is also a deeper philosophical dimension here. The body and mind are not separate systems, they are intertwined expressions of the same underlying structure. When you nourish your body intelligently, you send a signal to your psyche that you are worth caring for. That signal reshapes identity. You begin to see yourself not as someone trapped by habits, but as someone capable of intentional growth. Nuts and seeds, in this sense, become more than dietary choices, they become symbols of a broader shift toward responsibility, awareness, and self-respect. And this is why consistency matters more than perfection. You don't need radical diets or extreme transformations. What you need is a pattern of small, repeatable actions that gradually reshape your biological and psychological foundations. A handful of zinc-rich foods each day may seem insignificant, but over months and years, it becomes a quiet force that strengthens your health, clarity, and resilience. Because in the end, real change is not built on grand intentions. It is built on simple choices repeated with meaning.